Okay, so today we're going deep on this idea of a high-value woman
Uh-huh.
and how certain qualities can kind of attract a certain type of partner,
Yeah.
someone who wants to cherish, protect, provide all those things.
Right.
We've got all these ideas about the mindset, the characteristics,
Yeah,
even like the actual strategies for how to attract this dynamic.
absolutely.
So the goal is to really pull out the core insights
Mm-hmm.
and see what this perspective has to offer.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting
Oh,
area.
yeah.
And like you said, it's not just surface level.
Right.
It's not just about like looks or status.
At all.
It's about internal states
Yes.
and how those kind of manifest in your relationships and just how you engage with the world.
Right. So let's get into this concept of a high-value woman,
Okay.
because they make it very clear that this isn't about external stuff.
Mhm.
It's not about looks. It's not about your job title.
Right.
Really, the emphasis is on this internal foundation.
Yeah,
Self-respect,
absolutely.
strong sense of self. Emotional intelligence, it's about what's happening inside and how that radiates out.
I think that's a great point.
Really?
Because when you think about what sustains connections and you think about like real deep connections with people,
Yeah.
it is those inner qualities,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So the material we're looking at, it breaks down some of these key characteristics.
Okay.
And it is interesting to see how they kind of build on one another.
All right, so the first one they highlight is confidence,
Okay.
a genuine belief in your own worth,
Yeah.
which then means you don't settle.
You don't settle for less than you deserve.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's about having that inner conviction.
Yeah.
So how does this impact relationships when you have that kind of confidence?
Well, I think at its core, confidence communicates self-awareness
Uh-huh.
and a really strong sense of identity. And what's so fascinating about that is it acts as a natural filter.
Oh, interesting.
It deters people who might not be a good match while simultaneously attracting those who appreciate that self-assuredness.
Makes sense.
Right. It signals, your value and you know what you bring to the table.
Then there's this idea of feminine energy,
Yeah.
which can be a loaded term.
Oh, absolutely.
But the way they present it here, it's about grace warmth
Yes.
and like a certain receptiveness.
Yeah.
It's not about being passive at all,
Not at all.
but about embodying this kind of soft yet powerful energy.
Right.
How do you see that distinction?
That's a great question. And I think it's such an important clarification.
Yeah.
Because you're right, that term can be so easily misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
But in this context, it seems to point toward qualities that foster like a harmonious dynamic,
Okay.
a nurturing dynamic.
Yeah.
And for someone who has that inclination to provide and to care for their partner,
Mhm.
that kind of energy can be very appealing
Oh, I see.
because it creates a space where those nurturing instincts can be expressed and appreciated.
Okay, that makes sense. So emotional maturity is another big one.
Yeah,
Communicate effectively.
absolutely.
Handle disagreements
Right.
without a ton of drama.
Avoid the unnecessary drama.
Avoid the drama.
Yes.
It seems like that's a good quality in any relationship,
Oh, 100%.
whether they're a provider or not.
Right.
It just makes for a healthier partnership.
Precisely. Emotional maturity just speaks to stability
Yeah.
and the capacity to build a healthy partnership based on clear communication,
Yes.
mutual understanding,
Right.
and it makes you wonder, how much does the ability to express your needs
Yeah.
and your boundaries in a mature way,
Yeah.
how much does that contribute to attracting a partner who wants to support you?
That's such an interesting point.
Yeah.
Because if you can say what you need and what you want in a calm way,
Right.
it gives them a roadmap for how to show up.
Exactly. And they can meet those needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so another characteristic is being purpose-driven,
Oh, okay.
having your own goals.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
A full life outside the relationship.
A fulfilling life independently.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like you're choosing to share your already great life.
Mm-hmm.
You're not looking for someone to complete you.
Exactly. And I think someone who is driven
Yeah?
and has their own passions often exudes a sense of self-reliance and direction,
Right.
which can be so attractive. It
Yeah.
suggests you're not looking for someone to fill a void,
Yeah.
but rather to enhance an already really fulfilling existence.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then the last one they talk about is selective standards.
Right.
So knowing what you want in a partner
Yeah.
and not compromising on those core values.
Absolutely.
Having a vision for the relationship
Mm-hmm.
and not settling for anything less.
Yes.
How does that play into attracting the right person?
I think that element of selectivity really underscores confidence and self-respect. It communicates that you value yourself, enough to hold out for a relationship that truly aligns with your needs and your desires.
It's like you know what you deserve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you consider all of these things together,
Okay.
the confidence, the feminine energy, emotional maturity, purpose-driven,
Selective standards.
selective standard, it's like a whole package.
It is a whole package.
Yeah.
And you can start to see how embodying these qualities
Yeah.
naturally commands respect
Okay.
and attracts someone who genuinely values them.
Okay, so we've got a picture of what makes a high-value woman,
Yes.
according to this perspective.
Right.
Now let's talk about attracting a partner who wants to provide.
Okay.
And a big thing here is moving away from this scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
This feeling that there just aren't enough good partners out there.
Right. And that can be so detrimental
Right.
because it can lead to you making compromises that don't truly serve you
Totally.
and feeling like you constantly need to prove your worth to be deserving of a good partner.
Oh, yeah. That's huge. But what's so insightful here is this idea that recognizing your own inherent value changes everything.
Yeah.
It fundamentally alters that dynamic.
So they introduce this idea of you are the prize,
Mm-hmm.
which is a pretty big reframe.
It is a big reframe.
It's not about you trying to win someone over.
Right.
It's realizing that a partner who wants to provide,
Yeah.
they're looking for someone who complements their life.
Exactly. It's a mutual thing.
It's mutual, and I think it's about shifting from seeking external validation
Okay.
to truly owning your intrinsic worth.
Hmm.
And that internal shift has a ripple effect on how you present yourself
Yeah.
and how you interact with others, and it attracts a different caliber of person.
So they give some mindset tips.
Okay.
First one, believe you deserve it,
Right.
which sounds
But
easy.
that does sound easy.
But overcoming that doubt
Mm-hmm.
that a supportive and generous partner could actually exist,
Is huge.
that's a big hurdle for a lot of people.
It is for a lot of people.
What's the psychology behind that? Well, I think often our belief systems are shaped by past experiences, by societal conditioning.
Totally.
If you've experienced less than ideal relationships, or you've absorbed messages that make you feel unworthy,
Yeah.
it can be really challenging to believe you deserve better.
Makes sense.
So this step is about consciously challenging those limiting beliefs.
Okay.
And affirming your inherent deservingness of a fulfilling partnership.
Okay. So the next tip is stop overgiving,
Mm-hmm.
resisting that urge to constantly initiate,
Right.
plan, invest
Yeah.
before the other person has shown their interest and effort.
Yeah.
Basically create space for them to step up.
Right.
Why is this so important for attracting a provider?
Because it allows that natural inclination to provide to actually manifest.
Oh, interesting.
If you were constantly taking the lead,
Right.
giving excessively
Yeah.
early on,
Uh-huh.
you might inadvertently create a dynamic where the other person doesn't feel the need to step into that role.
They don't have.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
So it's about creating a balance
Mm-hmm.
where both partners can contribute and invest.
In their own way.
Yeah.
Okay. Set boundaries and standards.
Yes.
This is about being clear about what's acceptable treatment and not engaging with people who don't respect those boundaries.
Absolutely.
So how do boundaries signal your value to others?
Boundaries are fundamental to self-respect.
Okay.
They communicate that you value your time, your energy, your emotional well-being.
Yeah.
And by not engaging with low-effort behavior or disrespectful behavior,
Right.
you're essentially saying, I know what I deserve and I'm not settling.
It's powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
And that clarity and self-respect can be very attractive to someone who is looking for a mature and self-aware partner.
And the last tip is be open to receiving.
Okay.
This one's interesting
Yeah.
because sometimes being super independent
Right.
can actually block you from getting support.
Uh-huh.
The idea is that feminine energy involves receptivity.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that a little?
So it's not about being dependent
Right.
or incapable.
Yeah.
It's about letting yourself be nurtured,
Yeah.
supported.
Mm-hmm.
It's recognizing that interdependence
Yeah.
can be a strength in a relationship
Right.
and that receiving
Yeah.
is a way for them to show their care.
Exactly.
It's give and take.
It is.
Okay, we've talked about the mindset.
Yeah.
Now the source gets into some strategic steps
Okay.
for attracting a provider,
Mm-hmm.
positioning yourself, they
Okay.
call it.
Yeah.
And this is where they give more action-oriented suggestions.
Right.
How do these external strategies connect back to that internal work?
Well, they act as an outward expression of that inner work.
Okay.
What's interesting is these positioning strategies aren't about being inauthentic.
Wait.
It's about aligning your external world with your values. the qualities you possess, and the kind of partnership you want.
So the first one is presentation and presence.
Okay.
Looking polished, elegant, carrying yourself with poise.
Right.
It's about first impressions.
Yeah. And it's important to note here that this isn't about adhering to some rigid ideal.
Right.
It's about presenting yourself in a way that feels authentic to you.
It reflects your self-respect.
Exactly. It can be everything from your personal grooming to the way you carry yourself.
Okay.
It's about projecting confidence and self-worth, which can naturally draw positive attention.
Next is social circles matter.
Okay.
Cultivating connections with high-caliber people.
Yeah.
Spending time in places where you might meet the kind of partner you want.
Right. So like charity events, networking functions, those kinds of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the thinking behind that?
It's a strategic approach to increasing your opportunities to meet people who share your values, your interests, maybe your lifestyle.
Right.
By immersing yourself in these circles, you're expanding your network, but also subtly signaling your own aspirations and the types of connections you value.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it increases the likelihood of meeting someone who's a potential match.
Another strategy, upgrade your communication. Engaging in meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
Being articulate, expressing your thoughts. Being a good listener.
Active listening is so important.
It is connecting on an intellectual and emotional level.
Right.
Why is that such a draw?
Well, because communication is the foundation of any strong and lasting relationship.
That's true.
Being able to express yourself clearly with intention, while also genuinely listening to and understanding others, that fosters connection. It fosters intimacy.
Right.
It shows emotional intelligence and the capacity for building that strong partnership.
So then they talk about femininity and soft skills. Creating a warm, peaceful environment where your partner feels appreciated, respected.
Yeah.
This seems to tie back to the feminine energy idea.
It does.
But in a more practical way.
Right. These soft skills are the tangible ways in which that energy can manifest.
I see.
Empathy, kindness.
Yeah.
The ability to create a comfortable and supportive atmosphere.
That's huge.
It is.
Yeah.
And it can make a partner feel truly valued and cherished.
Right.
Which is a powerful draw for someone who wants to provide not just materially, but also emotionally.
And the last suggestion is be an asset, not a liability.
Okay.
Which means bringing value to the partnership in your own way.
Right.
Whether it's emotional support, social grace, insightful perspectives, whatever your strengths are.
Exactly.
So how does that reciprocity play into attracting a provider?
Well, it speaks to the idea of a balanced partnership.
Okay.
A mutually beneficial partnership. While the focus here is on attracting someone who wants to provide, it highlights the importance of what you bring to the table.
Okay.
Your strengths, your support, your contributions. Create a dynamic and fulfilling connection for both people.
So now let's shift gears a little bit. The source also points out some red flags, things to avoid in the dating process.
Right.
Signs that someone might not be a true provider type.
Warning signs.
Yes.
Yeah, these red flags are so crucial for using your discernment and avoiding relationships that might not align with your desires.
So what are some of the big ones?
Well, the first one is bare minimum effort.
Oh.
That lack of emotional, financial, even mental investment.
All right.
In getting to know you in the relationship itself.
It seems like a pretty clear sign they're not that interested.
It is a pretty clear sign.
Yeah.
Consistent low effort indicates a lack of genuine interest or that they aren't prioritizing the relationship. Someone who genuinely wants to provide and build a strong connection will show you through their actions.
Okay. Another red flag, inconsistency. Unreliable, unpredictable behavior.
Right. And that can create such a sense of instability and insecurity in a relationship.
Which is the opposite of what a provider wants to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think stability and reliability are often key characteristics people look for in a partner, especially someone who wants to create a secure and supportive environment.
Right.
Inconsistent behavior can be a sign of a lack of commitment or emotional immaturity.
Then there's controlling behavior.
Right.
Which they say can sometimes masquerade as providing. They make a distinction that true providing comes from generosity.
Yes.
Care. Not a desire to control you.
Absolutely.
So how can you tell the difference?
That's a great question, and it is a critical point.
Yeah.
I think genuine provision is freely given out of care, a
Yeah.
desire to support your well-being and your happiness.
Okay.
Whereas controlling behavior often comes with strings attached.
Right.
Expectations of obedience or compliance.
Yeah, it's about power.
Exactly. It's about power dynamics, not genuine care.
So pay attention to how their actions feel.
Yes. Are they empowering and supportive or restrictive and manipulative?
Okay, and the last red flag is lack of vision.
Okay.
No clear long-term goals or direction in life.
Right.
It seems like someone who wants to provide would be forward-thinking.
Right.
Want to build a stable future
Exactly.
for themselves and maybe with a partner.
I think a shared vision for the future can be so important for compatibility.
Yeah.
Someone who lacks direction
Yeah.
might not be in a position to offer stability and support.
Right.
It suggests a lack of forward momentum.
Okay, so wrapping up,
Yeah.
the core message seems to be that becoming a high-value woman isn't about games
No,
or manipulating anyone.
not at all.
It's about cultivating yourself,
Right.
recognizing your worth,
Yeah.
making choices that reflect that value.
It's about that internal alignment, radiating outward. When you truly value yourself and live in accordance with that value,
Yeah.
you naturally attract others who will recognize and appreciate that.
So the source gives some really good takeaways.
Okay.
You don't chase, you attract.
That's about shifting your energy. Your standards determine your experiences.
Yeah.
Knowing what you want and not settling.
Absolutely.
And the right man will recognize your value without you having to beg for it.
That is so powerful.
It is.
It's an affirmation of self-worth.
Yes.
And I think those are all such fundamental principles that underscore self-respect and attracting a partner who sees and values you.
They see your worth.
They see your worth.
Right. And it's about setting the tone for the kind of relationship you want.
Yeah.
Believing you're worthy of it.
Yes.
And the last encouragement is to embrace your queen energy.
Right.
Embrace your femininity in a way that feels true to you.
Yeah.
Position yourself to receive love and support.
Yeah.
Step into your power and believe you deserve a fulfilling partnership.
It's about embodying that sense of self-assurance and worthiness
Yeah.
that draws in the right partner.
Someone who appreciates you
Exactly.
for who you are.
Someone who wants to cherish you. So as we end this deep dive into the high-value woman and attracting a provider,
Yeah.
here's a final thought for you.
Okay.
Think about the values that really define your ideal relationship beyond specific traits.
Yeah.
What principles of respect, support partnership
Right.
are non-negotiable for you?
What are your absolute must-haves?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reflecting on those core values can be a powerful guide as you navigate relationships
Absolutely.
and build the connection you truly desire.
It all comes back to knowing yourself and knowing what you want
Yes, exactly.
and then going after it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for diving in with me today.
This was great.